Hi, my name is David, and I am a recovering introvert of almost 10 years. At the time, I was laid off for the first time, and it really affected me in a big way, and took me a while to land something new, almost 6 months. And when it happened, I kind of vowed to myself to do whatever I could to make sure that it never happened again, which, of course, there's no guarantees, but what I did was focus on building out my network, my support system, as well as also trying to get over my fear of public speaking. And so I did a lot around speaking to, obviously, the public in my industry, doing as many conferences as I could in order to get over that fear. So when Pastor Greg asked me to speak with you today, I never give up the opportunity, so thank you. But also, too, because Pastor Greg did ask me a few days ago, and also I suffer from procrastination, I started working on what I was going to be talking about today last night. And so happens that the World Series was on, which was even more of a distraction, but it reminded me of, I think, a lot of what I was hoping to talk about today. So if you don't know, the Phillies and the Astros are in the World Series. Philadelphia is my hometown. So I am very excited about what's going to be happening and transpiring over the next week. But for me, and this is for other sports that I watch as well, like soccer, the support, the yelling, the cheering, the whooping, everything that happens as one individual, but when you bring them together in such a massive place like a stadium or a church or wherever, everything happening in unison is just an amazing thing to feel and to be part of. And it's really, for me, that same feeling that I feel every Sunday when we get together and we sing hymns, whether it's the frequencies or the vibrations of our voices all coming together, gives me both joy and goosebumps. And also, more importantly, it connects me with something bigger, something larger outside of myself, which is that collective, a family, a community, a support system, a home. And that's kind of the theme that Pastor Greg just mentioned, and what I was hoping to talk about a little bit today is coming home to today's church. Home for me is a place where one gives and gets love, support, nourishment, entertainment, peace, encouragement, sympathy, empathy, laughter, all those things. Crying as well, and singing. So, and I think that we usually equate home with either the house or the town that we grew up in, or the one that we've created for ourselves and our families. And that's exactly right. There's nothing wrong about that, but I think it also misses all of the other spaces that we dwell in across our lives, whether that's, the office, schools, churches, sports fields, tyrannies, you name it. So as the old adage goes, home, for me, home is really where the heart is, and you can interpret that your own way. The way I interpret it is that home is all the different places where your heart is full, where it's engaged, and where it's bouncing off of other hearts, where gratitude is also both given and received. So I ask you, as I ask myself every day, is to be present, to bring your open heart, to bring your brokenness. Just be here, come home. Also, be engaged. The church is a structure, but it's also flexible, dynamic, and a living thing, and it can't be what it is without us. So don't just come home. Make this home your own in whatever way that you see fit. And you may want to ask Pastor Greg before doing this, but whether it's installing a disco ball, painting the narthex a bold color, putting a Harry Styles poster up, whatever your thing is, just make an impact, because I think we'll all be better for it. So I'm probably going on too long, I apologize. I'll end quickly by describing the path that Drew and I, how we got to PCUM, because I think it is a really good example of coming home. So as I think all you can imagine, the pandemic was a very tough time for us. But for some reason, and I think a lot of it has to do with my mother-in-law, Drew really wanted to start coming to church. He wanted to experience it. And who was I as a dad to not entertain that? So we first, we did a couple of sessions outside when you had some open sessions on the grass. We also tried a few Catholic churches because they were one of the first ones that were opening up. And it felt good, but it didn't feel right. So then we came back to PCUM because I grew up as a Presby, but I hadn't been back to church, I think, officially as since I was a kid. So it just felt really good to come home. I'll also mention quickly that in college, I was a religion major, so very into spirituality and a lot of the study of the East Asian religions like Buddhism and Taoism. And it was fascinating for me, and I really liked it because it allowed me to, for me, spirituality was a inward thing. I worked on myself inside. And it was great and all, but it completely forgot the other parts of religion, of spirituality, which is all of the good things that can happen when you are together as part of a community, as part of a support system. And I am so grateful for the opportunity to be back in this church with Drew and hopefully eventually his 12-year-old brother, who may come eventually. But we became members. It was a wonderful thing. We both got confirmed. Well, Drew got confirmed. I got let in again. I was asked to become a deacon. And all of this is to say that, I'm going on way too long. I'm sorry, I'm done. Just be involved. Drew and I have done, work with the needy over in Newark several times. It's a wonderful thing. He was so excited to do a trip to West Virginia, which unfortunately never materialized. Hopefully that can come back. But again, we've definitely found our home, and I bless you all for being a part of it with us. So thank you.